Hi, this is Ed again, and it's August the 15th, a Saturday, and Jose Luis is here, and we're doing another video. And I got a couple of things that I want to talk about today. I was just watching a couple of videos from a fairly new YouTuber, new to me, I mean YouTuber. He's called Telltale, and I think his bio is that he is an ex-Jehovah's Witness. But anyway, he was talking about the idea that in religion, sometimes we get in discussions with religious folks, and we're trying to point out, my perspective, we're trying to point out that this character that they believe in the Bible, Yahweh or Jehovah or whatever you want to call him, or even Jesus Christ, whatever they're talking about, our point is, I've said it myself many times, that character appears to be a monster, and by that I mean an immoral monster, the murdering people, and got an ear plugged here, murdering people, killing babies, genocide, all of that. And interestingly, in every conversation you either get involved in with that or watch a conversation about that kind of thing, the religious folks invariably go to justifying whatever it is we're talking about. The common one that Matt Dillahunty uses all the time is that the Bible justifies and promotes slavery. And they get into this thing about they want to say, well, it's okay, things were different back then, that's the way it was, slavery was normal or whatever, rather than admitting that, yeah, this is a horrible thing to do to justify slavery. You can beat your slaves as long as they don't die in a couple of days, as it says in Exodus 21, and so on. But his point is that their God becomes kind of a super villain in a way. Even when God is a villain, they want to argue that he's still good, sort of thing. And he brought up examples, we're talking about the human psyche, or the way our brains work or something. We've all heard stories about who are the worst mass murderers we've had in history, or I'm not going back to like Hitler or something like that, but people who have killed people, murdered people, are in jail, even who Dahmer or people like that on death row, and they get not one or two, but many messages from women saying, I love you, I want to marry you. Now we're talking about a guy that's been convicted. There seems to be no doubt about it that he's a mass murderer, is one of the horrible, horrible person. Why the hell would any woman want to be married to a man like that? So there's that thing. We seem to be very capable and prepared to have, people what do we call, iconize people who are very horrible. Like when we watch Batman, there's the Joker has certain fans, he's an evil man, but he's got this smile and whatever, so people want to follow him. So there's that aspect of the Bible thing, that arguing that and pointing out why you believe that God or Jesus, Yahweh, or whatever you're going to call him, or any God, Allah, pointing out the horrible things that God does, immoral things. But it sort of comes down to arguing, well, that's according to your view of the thing, but you can't understand it the way God understands it. It's mysterious why that's good and everything. Okay, so that's telltale. And I've never heard the argument taken from that perspective. It was that what religious people really are doing is propping up a horrible, what's the terminology for heroes that are really evil people? It seems to me a very close parallel to what happens in like North Korea. And I can't say the guy's name. Much more impressive when you can say his name. The leader, even the dead father of their leader, is elevated to a godlike figure. And no matter how much we point out how this monster is controlling people and killing many people and everything, the believers just invariably double down and want to justify their worshiping of that person. The other thing, I was just watching something. I'm really fascinated, and these 2 points might not be directly connected, but Anthony, I can't say his last name now, the guy that does street epistemology, Tanavasco, sorry, I can't say his last name. But anyway, he's talking about a very different thing, but interesting too, how to have good conversations with people who believe. And I'm not good at that. I know the arguments that I can use to attack their, the religious arguments, the inconsistencies and that kind of thing. But what he's pointing out is a way of talking with this person without ever challenging them. Just tell me what you believe and why you believe it. So, okay, there's 2 disparate points there. The idea that it seems that the gods that many people, and some forms at least of the gods that many people believe in, are really they're like the Joker, Darth Vader, or what do we call those kinds of people? They're heroes, but they do a lot of things that go against our sensibilities, but we still tend to worship them. Okay, I just want to throw those 2 basic ideas out there. The idea that it seems like, Christianity, for instance, is my read on the Bible. They are worshiping a monster, especially the Yahweh type. Then we get to with Jesus. I mean, I've done the thing that Jesus is a jerk also. Now he doesn't. He got away from the sacrificing animals and all that kind of thing. But it's also the New Testament that invented the idea of hell, making people suffer forever, the worst kind of suffering that we can think of. So there's the idea that our superhero is a villain, and that doesn't matter. And it seems to religions sometimes are doing that. Even when God turns out to be a villain, they find a way to turn that into a good thing. My ears drive me nuts here. My ears plugged. So I just want to pull this thing together. Excuse me. I am Ed. Atheist, a bird with no cage. That's the name of my video, and I think that describes me fairly well. For me, being free and not believing in any gods or devils or angels or any of those things is a very freeing idea. I'm free to examine the world in all its reality, and I don't have to believe in anything because somebody tells me that I have to believe in it, or that kind of thing. I'm 80 years old, and I've spent the last 20 years questioning the whole idea of religion and, typically the existence of God, and on the other hand, the use of books, like particularly the Bible, as some kind of a manual as how to live your life. First of all, I'm convinced God does not exist. It's an imaginary thing. And the other point is the Bible is a bad book to use as a guide. It makes a lot of horrible things okay and justifiable. It's once again, it's August the 15th, 2020, and here we are, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you in another video. Bye.